Now to officially start our meeting, do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Calling this meeting to order, we'll move to item B, Board. We have had before us an opportunity to review the minutes from both meetings on January 11th, 2021. Asking for a motion to approve the reorganization meetings of 1/11/21 and the regular session minutes of 1/11/21. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I've had an opportunity to review those minutes, and I'd make a motion that we approve them.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. I'd like to move item G under county staff and elected officials discussion up under item B before we go to C. We should have Pam Haverkos on here this morning,
That's correct. Commissioner Pam Haverkos would like to give a brief update.
or a briefed update this morning. Good morning, Pam.
Hi, thank you for having me. As the Commissioner mentioned, my name is Pam Haverkos. I'm with the Clermont County Emergency Management Agency. And I wanted to just give a brief update of where we're at with our COVID-19 response. So from an emergency management standpoint, we continue to work diligently with our public health department to ensure that we are responding effectively to COVID-19, whether that be through contact tracing of individuals that are diagnosed with COVID-19, as well as we are currently working on the rollout of our vaccine processes. So in terms of where we're at, we are having an extraordinarily high number of cases that are being diagnosed with COVID-19. So we're seeing the fallout from the holidays. So right now we're seeing about 1,075 people per 100,000 in population. So we have an extraordinarily high case rate at the moment. So in terms of that, we are strongly encouraging all of our residents to continue to wear their mask, to wash their hands diligently and use hand sanitizer, and to stay home if you're ill. If you can work from home, we're still encouraging everyone to try to minimize their social connections, and again, maintaining that social distance. Again, that will help us curb the number of cases that we see in the county. In terms of vaccine, we have been working with public health to schedule all of our healthcare providers to get the vaccination through our Tier 1A providers. We continue to have more Tier 1A providers that want to get the vaccine than we have vaccine available. So the vaccine availability is becoming the limiting factor for us at this point. By Friday, we will have consumed all of the vaccine that the county public health department has received to date. Moving on to next week, the Governor Mike Wine has announced that we will be moving into our Tier 1B group, which will include our 80 and older population, and it will allow them to begin getting access to the vaccine. Up until this point, the only providers that have been receiving vaccine were the county and local public health departments, along with the hospitals, so that we could vaccinate our healthcare providers. Next week, the state will be providing vaccine to additional providers. It will mostly include some local pharmacies that register to be providers. And so we are working today to gather that information on how our residents can go about registering to receive that vaccine. So we'll be working to find out what days and times clinics will be available, what locations will have clinics, and then how our 80 and older population can get on that list to get vaccinated. So next week, and as an The county as a whole is slated to receive 1,900 doses of vaccine for that Tier 1B population. And as I mentioned, tomorrow we will be releasing some information on how our 80 and older population can access that. So what providers will be available and what dates and times and how they will go about registering for it. In the meantime, Clermont County Public Health has started a survey on their website for people to get on a wait list that are 65 and older. And that way, as we get more information, we can contact those individuals as their time slot or as the availability opens up. We can let them know on how to go about registering to get the vaccine. So the governor has a very forward-moving timeline. So next week we'll open up for 80 and over. The week after that, it will be open to 75 and older. The week after that, it'll be 70 and older. And the week after that, it'll be 65 and older. So again, if you are interested in just getting more information and having it coming directly to you via email, please go on to the ccphohio.org website and hit the 65 and older Tier 1B survey and complete that, and we will then be able to contact you directly and submit information back to you. We understand that some in that population may not have internet access, may not have computer, may not have the capability to hit a survey on a website. So if anyone is in need of additional support, they can reach out to our office by calling 513-735-8500, and we will assist them with getting on that register or on that wait list, and we will get more information back to them as it becomes available. Also, if you are a family member or a caregiver for someone that is in that 65 and older population, you can also fill out the survey. So you can have a family member complete the survey on your behalf, and that information would then get back to us. So again, our vaccination distribution process is really going to be contingent on what we receive from the state on a weekly basis. And as I mentioned, next week we'll be getting 1,900 doses in the county. We will be doing that Tier 1B category of 85 or 80 and over, but we also still have some of our Tier 1A providers left to get vaccinated. So I know we have some closed pods set up for next week, so we'll be doing some of those Tier 1A providers as well next week. Again, more information will be available, and we'll be releasing information tomorrow via a press release. We'll also be uploading the Clermont County Public Health website. We'll also be distributing information to all of our media outlets, as well as updating the Clermont County Public Health and the Clermont County social media feeds. So more information will be coming out tomorrow. And again, I thank you for your time. If there are specific questions, I can try to answer those at this time.
Board, do you have any questions? Any further questions of Pam this morning?
None here.
Thank you, Pam. If you could just repeat how they get to the survey, how they log on to that for those who do have the internet.
For those that have the internet, you would go to ccphohio.org. And hold on, and I'll give you the exact link. And it's /, so it's ccphohio.org/COVID, COVID, -19 I'm sorry. So it's COVID-19 vaccine, vaccine-info, and that will take you to the vaccine info page for Clermont County Public Health. And as you scroll down on the right-hand column will be a COVID-19 vaccine waiting list survey for Group 1B, ages 65 and older. So you would click on that link, it'll take you to a survey, and you will complete the survey. Again, you can complete it on your own behalf or on the behalf of someone else. So if you have a loved one that is in that Tier 1B category, you are more than welcome to complete the survey. We do ask that people only complete the survey once. We will get back to you as information becomes available. You do not need to continue to hit the survey.
Thank you, Pam, very much.
And board, just a request. Pam, we could probably put those actual links
Yes.
out on our press release on the Clermont County Facebook site, so people could just go in and copy or paste or just click right on them.
Yeah, yes, we will definitely, all of that information will be in the press release that we release
Great.
tomorrow. I believe Public Health has already released the survey links on their social media feeds, but yes, we will make sure all of this information is clearly outlined in the press release that we have tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Pam.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming on this morning. Board, now we're going to move to item C on your agenda, which is the consent agenda. And it was prepared for you, given ahead of time for review. Are there any items that need to be further discussed or for consideration?
None.
Okay, then the consent agenda as prepared. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Do I
I'll
have a
second. I'll second that motion.
Okay. No further discussion. Could you please call the roll?
Commissioner Bachelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Now we're going to move on to the non-consent agenda, which is on page 2. Item number 4. Board, there's a resolution for number 008-21, payment of bills. It's a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt that resolution to approve and resolve payment to the vendors in the amount of $847,802.76 for checks dated January 13th, 2021, as presented by the county auditor on January 11th, 2021, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue warrants for the same pursuant to Section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Bachelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Are there any additions at this time?
Number 5.
Nope.
We got the rest of the consent agenda.
Okay, I'll finish the rest of the consent, and then we'll go to those. Fine.
Got it.
Okay.
Item number 5, it's a recommendation of Robert S. Leahy, County Sheriff, with the concurrence of Mr. Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize Claire B. Corcoran, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the sub-grant award agreement for sub-grant number 2020-EX-OOS-1071 from the Ohio Department of Public Safety located in Columbus, Ohio, for funding through the Extradition Transport Reimbursement Fund 2020 grant program funded through the U.S. Department of Justice located in Washington, D.C. for the project entitled Clermont County Sheriff's Office Extradition in the amount of $138.50 with no required cash match for the period of 7/1/2020 through 6/1/2021 for and on behalf of the county sheriff of Clermont County, Ohio, as the designated agency for the administration and implementation thereof, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein.
Board, you heard the reading of item number 5, the extradition entitled to the Clermont County Sheriff's Office. Are there any questions or further discussion? If not, could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Bachelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 6, Greg?
Number 6, recommendation of Robert S. Leahy, County Sheriff, with the concurrence of Mr. Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize Claire B. Corcoran, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute sub-grant award agreement for sub-grant number 2020-EX-OOS-1072 from the Ohio Department of Public Safety located in Columbus, Ohio, for funding through the Extradition Transport Reimbursement Fund 2020 grant program funded through the U.S. Department of Justice for the project entitled Clermont County Sheriff's Office Extradition in the amount of $162.08 with no required cash match for the period of 7/1/2020 through 6/1/2021 for and on behalf of the County Sheriff of the County of Clermont, Ohio, as the designated agency for the administration and implementation thereof pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 6 for the sub-grant award agreement for the 2020 grant program extradition transport reimbursement. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 7, Water Department.
Yep, I'm on. I'm just trying to get my video started. Sorry. Here I am. All right. Good morning. I'm Lyle Bloom, Director with the Water Resources Department. And item 7 is a recommendation to execute a contract for professional services between the Board of County Commissioners and Burgess and Nyepel Incorporated out of Cincinnati, Ohio. This is for project number 6402-60193 relative to the preliminary engineering services for the Middle East Fork Wastewater Treatment Plant Improvements Project located in Batavia Township in accordance with the consultant's proposal dated November 13th, 2020, as identified in Exhibit A for a total amount not to exceed $157,542, with said services to be completed within 240 consecutive calendar days upon issuance of a written notice to proceed from the Clermont County Water Resources Department, exclusive of county review time pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order. So this project is intended to, it's preliminary engineering services, and the intended improvements would improve the fine screens, the grit removal system, the septic receiving station, and the aeration basin blowers at the Middle East Fork Treatment Plant.
Board, you've heard the reading by Lyle Bloom of the Clermont County Water Resources Department. Do I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 8, Water Sources.
Item number 8 is a recommendation to execute a contract for professional services between the Board of County Commissioners and Choice One Engineering Corporation out of Sydney, Ohio. And this is for project number 6402-60199 relative to the design of the Pine Lane, Branch Hill, Miamiville Road, and Decade Lane sewer petition project located in Miami Township in accordance with the consultant's proposal dated November 10th, 2020, as identified in Exhibit A, for a total amount not to exceed $72,750, with said services to be completed within 209 consecutive calendar days upon issuance of a written notice to proceed from the Clermont County Water Resources Department, exclusive of county review time, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the necessary purchase order. So this design work will include about 5,000 feet of 8-inch sanitary sewer to serve approximately 40 properties in Miami Township.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 8, the design work Choice One Engineering Corporation in Clermont County, their Water Source Department. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 9.
Item 9 is a recommendation to execute a contract for professional services between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County and McGill Smith Punchin Incorporated out of Cincinnati, Ohio, for project number 6401-60195 relative to the design of the Hopper Hill Road Water Main Replacement Project located in Pierce and Union Townships in accordance with the consultant's proposal dated November 7th, 2020, as identified in Exhibit A, for a total amount not to exceed $77,400, with said services to be completed within 174 consecutive calendar days upon issuance of a written notice to proceed from the Clermont County Water Resources Department, exclusive of county review time, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the necessary purchase order. So this project will replace about 8,500 feet of 6-inch cast iron water main that was installed in the 1950s, and we plan to replace that with a 12-inch ductile iron water main. The limits of the project are from State Route 125 all the way to Halcor Lane along Hopper Hill Road.
Board, you've heard the reading to execute a contract for professional services by and between Board of County Commissioners and McGill Smith Punch Incorporated. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. Item number 10.
Item 10 is a recommendation to authorize Claire Corcoran, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute change order number 1 to the contract with Majors Enterprises Incorporated out of Monroe, Ohio. This was previously ratified by the board on August 12th, 2020, and this is for project number 6402-60174 relative to the Dublin Drive Sewer Replacement Project located in Miami Township, and represents an increase in the amount of $22,000 for a total adjusted contract price to date of $100,000 for additions, deletions, and/or modifications thereto as defined therein, and contingent upon the release of the necessary purchase order. So this change order is for essentially differing site conditions. There were existing utilities that were not shown on the drawings, so the contractor had to bring in different equipment in order to work around those utilities.
Board, you've heard the reading of the contract with Major Enterprises Incorporated relative to the Dublin Drive Sewer Replacement Project change order. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. Item number 11. Bye. Thank you. Item number
So-
11.
Number 11 is a recommendation for Greg Bickford, Assistant County Administrator, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to authorize Pam Haverkos, the Director of the Clermont County Emergency Management Agency, to submit the 2021 and 2022 grant application for the Chemical Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know funds through the Ohio State Emergency Response Commission, for the purposes of developing, preparing, training, exercising, reviewing, and revising the Clermont County Chemical Emergency Response and Preparedness Plan, and implementation and administration of the Emergency Planning and Right to Know Act in the amount of $36,147 for the operation of the local emergency planning committee, with no local match required, therefore effective for the period of July 1st of 2021 through June 30th of 2022.
Board, you've heard the reading to submit a 2021 through 2022 grant application for chemical emergency planning and community right to know funds. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. Thank you, Pam.
Great, thank you very much.
Item number 12, Building Inspection Department.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Heath Wilson. I'm the interim building official with the building department. I'm recommending approval to amend number 1 to the agreement for consulting services by and between the Board of County Commissioners and XPEX of Cincinnati, previously approved on 10/7/20 to amend Section 3 titled Fee Collection and Payment for Services for an increase in service hours from 20 hours to 30 hours weekly, effective November 1st, 2020, relative to plans examination for projects submitted for other than 1, 2, 3 family dwellings and their accessory buildings, pursuant to terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release and receipt of the purchase order required therefore. It's just an increase in our plan review hours from 20 to 30, specifically because of the Perina project that has now come through the building department for review, and it's taking a little bit more time for our plans examiner to review plans. So,
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 12 for the increased service hours from 20 to hours weekly for these services. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Hey, Heath, that's a good problem to have, right? That you have Nestle Purina documents coming in and drawings and
Yes, it is a good problem.
are they planning,
We're very busy right now.
are they planning to do that in a phased approach? You know, starting with like civil details and then moving forward? Is that how they're proceeding?
Yes, this will be a lengthy project. So yes, it'll be done in phases, starting with building 1 and 2 right now. And then there'll be many other buildings to follow.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 13. Morning, Counselor.
Good morning.
Morning.
Attorney.
This is the recommendation of Giorni Ramos Jr., Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, for and on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners to authorize Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to execute the joint prosecution and allocation agreement with the Travelers Indemnity Company to jointly pursue the recovery of payments made related to losses sustained as a result of water damage incident that occurred on February 1, 2019 at the Clermont County Municipal Courthouse, as set forth in the said agreement.
Board, you've heard the reading by Mr. Ramos regarding the joint prosecution allocation agreement with the Travelers Indemnity Company to jointly pursue the recovery of payments made related to those losses sustained. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Ramos, one of the things that is described on this particular item in 13 is a water damage incident. And
Water damage,
water damage incident. And so just could you elaborate on that a little bit? Because, you know, when anyone reads water damage, the first thing they think of is, you know, a flood from rains, and obviously this building is not in that position, so.
right. This was an incident where there was a sprinkler system pipe that burst. And it flooded, as you're looking at the municipal court building on the left-hand side, that end of the building on the first floor. So it wasn't related to flood, but it was rather a burst pipe. And the claim is that the people that were involved in the operation and maintenance of that system failed to do what they were supposed to do. That's at least our claim.
Thank you.
And that was computers and everything that day that were just destroyed.
It was a really big mess.
Yes, it was. Wade knows, because he had to clean a lot of it up. Okay, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ernie.
Item number 14,
I'll take item number 14.
thank you.
Item number 14 is the recommendation to adopt resolution number 00921, resolving to designate a county commissioner as an official voting representative of Clermont County, Ohio, for the purpose of voting at annual or special meetings of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio in calendar year 2021, pursuant to Article 4, Section 6 of the Code of Regulations of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio. And as we did recently, as recent as Monday, we need to discuss a recommendation, or if a commissioner is interested in serving in this capacity, the floor is yours.
I'd like to make a recommendation, if I may, please. I'd like to nominate David Painter to sit on that board.
I'd be honored to do so.
All right, then I will make the motion to do so. Is there a second?
I will second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Okay. Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Abstain.
In addition to a voting member, we will also have an alternate voting representative for Clermont County. So this is the recommendation to adopt resolution number 1021, resolving to designate a county commissioner as the alternate voting representative of Clermont County, Ohio, for the purpose of voting at annual or special meetings of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio in calendar year 2021, pursuant to Article 4, Section 6 of the Code of Regulations of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio. And again, Commissioners, we will need either a recommendation or a volunteer to serve in this capacity.
You bet. I would make a motion that Commissioner Corcoran serve in that capacity as the alternate of the voting representative for CCAO here in the state of Ohio.
I will second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Abstain. Item number 16.
Item number 16 is the recommendation to designate Commissioner Claire Corcoran, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to serve on the Clermont County Child and Family First, Clermont County Family and Children First Council for calendar year 2021, pursuant to and in compliance with Section 12137B of the Ohio Revised Code.
Just wanted to make sure we knew what county it was in, right?
We know now.
I think you'd call that Clermont County squared.
Clermont County 2.0.
It happens.
We have a recommendation? We do? All right. Do we have a vote, please?
Did you move?
I did.
Okay, and I'll second.
Okay, I did not hear you, sorry. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
I'll abstain. Item number 17.
Good morning, Craig Reisner, Clermont County Engineer's Office. Item number 17 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, to approve the request to initiate procedures to vacate a portion of Mount Carmel Tabasco Road, County Road number 87, situated in Union Township, pursuant to section 5553.04 of the Ohio Revised Code, and further to resolve to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in the Clermont Sun for 2 consecutive weeks, commencing Thursday, January 21st, 2021, designating the date, time of the viewing, and the date, time of the final hearing for the proposed vacation pursuant to 5553.05 of the Ohio Revised Code. The viewing and final hearing of the proposed vacation for the portion of Mount Carmel Tabasco Road will be held on Wednesday, February 17th, 2021, with the viewing at 9 a.m. and the final hearing at 11 a.m. local time in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, Batavia, Ohio.
Board, do I have a motion to approve the viewing and final hearing of the proposed vacation of a portion of Mount Carmel Tabasco Road and situated at C-87 in Union Township to be held on Wednesday, February 17th, 2021, with the viewing at 9 o'clock a.m. local time and the final hearing at 11 o'clock a.m. local time in the office of the Board of County Commissioners? Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. We've completed the non-consent agenda at this time. Are there any additions to this agenda?
Yes, Commissioners, we have 3 actions we'd like you to consider for additions to the agenda. The first one is a motion to accept the proposal submitted by First Transit Incorporated for management of the public transit system of Clermont County, Ohio. The second one is a personnel action to appoint additional county personnel. And the third one is a proposed add-on to appoint a deputy dog warden to the county.
Thank you, Board. Could I have a motion to add these 3 items to the agenda, please?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that.
Any discussions? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter,
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran.
Yes. Moving on, let's do the first one. Greg, would you lead, please?
Yes, the first one is a recommendation of Mr. Igle, County Administrator, to accept the proposal submitted by First Transit Incorporated, located in Cincinnati, Ohio, for management of transit services of the public transit system for Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to Chapter 306 of the Ohio Revised Code, and further to execute the management agreement by and between the Board of County Commissioners and First Transit Incorporated, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the issuance and receipt of a purchase order. And it is a 3-year term. The initial term begins 1/20/21 and goes through 1/19/22 at the amount of $123,566. The first extension option begins 1/20/22 and runs through 1/19/2023 in the amount of $132,215. And finally, the second and final extension option begins 1/20/23 and runs through 1/19/2024 in the amount of $141,470.
Board, you've heard the reading of the accepting of the proposal with the First Transit Incorporated to execute the management agreement and the terms therein. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Second add-on.
Second add-on is the personnel action. Recommendation of Mr. Igo, County Administrator, to approve the following personnel actions for the Clermont County Kennel: Matthew Horsley, Deputy Dog Warden, effective 1/19/21, and Caitlin Keith, Dog Kennel Attendant, effective 1/15/21.
Board, you've heard the reading of these personnel actions. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 3 in the addition.
Finally, number 3, it's my recommendation to resolve to ratify the acceptance of an appointment of the following individual, which would be Matthew Horsley, as Deputy Dog Warden for Clermont County, Ohio, pursuant to and in compliance with Section 955.12 of the Ohio Revised Code for the administration of the statutory requirements of Chapter 955 of the Ohio Revised Code entitled Dogs, relative to the housing, feeding, caring for, destroying, and disposing of unlicensed and stray dogs within Clermont County, Ohio, effective on 1/19/21.
Board, you've heard the reading of designation of the dog warden of Clermont County, Ohio, effective 1/19/2021. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Any other additions, Greg, that we need?
That is it.
Okay. Is there a need for executive session today?
There is not.
Okay, we will not have executive session, so we will move on to any county staff, elected officials discussion under item G. Mr. Bickford, at this time, I'd like to ask you a question. How are we doing with the dog shelter? What is the current update?
We're doing quite well 2 weeks into our transition. Obviously, anytime you make a transition that large, it's going to take time and it's going to take effort. So as you saw today, we now have our 2 dog wardens, and we are pursuing a 3rd. We now have kennel staff beyond what we've initially hired. We have volunteers, and I got to say thank you to Holly. She's been instrumental in helping us with volunteers, and just her knowledge of animals has been extraordinary. Caleb is he's definitely got that shelter in a right direction. But we're making a lot of improvements to the shelter. People have noticed the shelter's closed, obviously. We are not doing adoptions right now simply because there are no dogs to adopt. And the stray holds that we have had come in over the last week have all been either claimed by the owners, or we have rescues that are literally coming to us daily wanting to get these animals out. So all that's in the shelter right now, I think there's a couple stray holds, and our cruelty cases are still in there, so obviously we're working through that. But we're making a lot of improvements to the shelter. You've noticed we installed a gas line into the shelter to replace the HVAC equipment. We have a contract let to patch and paint the walls. If you've been inside the shelter, it was definitely due for some improvements inside, as well as we have a contractor going in, I think today or tomorrow, to do a deep clean of the office portion that was sorely needed. In addition, we had a rodent infestation that we are currently working on. I think right now they've taken over 60 mice out of the facility, and they continue to work on that. It's still a problem, but we're working through that. And then we are bringing in a contractor to redo the outside kennels, which will happen in a couple weeks. So all told, there's a lot of activity going on in that shelter, which is why it's not necessarily open only by appointment only. There's people in and out of there constantly. We're making improvements to the facility. So, where things are right now, we are. It's working to be a successful transition. And then once we have our complete staff, I believe that they're going to do a great job of serving the residents of Clermont County.
And I understand we've secured all the feed, so we don't have to continue having those type of rodent problems in there.
Correct, yeah. So what we've done is we have an outside watertight storage facility where the food is going to be stored. There may be a time in the future, once we have the rodent infestation under control, that we put proper storage inside the building.
Okay.
But for now, all the food is stored outside, which, by the way, that was donated to us last week. It was 6,000 pounds. So,
Wonderful.
Yeah, all things said, it's certainly a difficult transition, like any time you change operation of a shelter, but I think things are going as well as we could have expected, and there's definitely going to be some great improvements to that facility. There will be additional outside improvements come the spring. The building's going to get cleaned up, the landscaping, just the curb appeal to the building is going to be improved as well.
Thank you for all your work, and for Wade and all his staff, and Holly for being there, and I know Debbie helped out.
I
And
can't say enough about the staff. Holly and Debbie and even Lindsay have been down there assisting. I mean, just
Good.
countless people behind the scenes. It's definitely not Tom or I. It's everybody working together. So we
and
can't
caring
let that
about the
go.
animals, which I think showing
Yes.
that they stepped up to
Yes,
the
and
plate.
we've
Tells you where we are.
we've had so many volunteers that we've had to
Awesome.
stagger the volunteers and come in different shifts. So,
Wonderful.
the community is really stepping up to help us.
Great.
And Greg, before you leave that subject, touch on the, touch on the euthanasia, touch on the transition as far as canines that were left there during the transition, and
Yes, sir.
and live rate that we currently have right now.
Well, our live rate's 100%, so we haven't done anything yet. All the animals that we have brought in have been able to be adopted out or have been claimed. The animals that are there are part of a court case, so those animals obviously are, they're going to go through the court case, and then they will obviously find permanent homes. And I know Holly's spent some time with those animals, and I think we'll have no trouble adopting them out once the court case comes to its conclusion, if that's necessary. The other animals that are in there are property of the CARES organization, which they will be taking those animals. They're working on finding homes for them as well. So, yeah, as of right now, there's no, we're at 100%.
And one of the things that you touched on was Holly volunteering over at the shelter. There's a rumor that's come back to me that she may have, her and one of those particular animals may have become one, and there's been some cemented bond there.
I know that I know nothing about. So
I'm moving on to Bonnie. Do you have anything to say?
No. Holly's like Commissioner Painter.
I cannot confirm or deny that the time that I have spent there these past few weekends.
You keep calling it volunteering, that Holly's volunteering to do that. I see it as necessity. You know what I mean?
Actually, it's quite nice there on Saturdays and Sundays. It's been quite nice.
Did you see her when she came back the other day?
Yes, I did.
Looked like she'd been on the floor with the.
Holly,
was bonding.
thanks for taking time on the weekends out of your schedule, to volunteer at that place. You are definitely an asset to have for that. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Nice, very nice. Any other elected officials discussions? Anyone that we have online? Good, thank you. Any member comments? Item H. Members, any comments this morning? No?
Good. The only thing we ought to talk about is that, I know everybody's working hard to get this vaccination, these vaccines, to us, and so that they can be administered. But, whatever push that other elected officials can put on and phone calls that can be made, we need to get that vaccine here so that it can be distributed.
And we need to get the public to go out and register.
Yes.
I did that last night.
Did you?
I did.
Very good.
And then one of the other obvious things that obviously our nation is going through is that, this is turbulent time. I think we all hope that the situation in Washington works its way out, that there's a path forward that is good for not only our county, but good for this nation. So,
Absolutely.
you bet.
And that's it for us this morning. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this morning. Please stay safe out there. Most of all, take care of the elderly and take care of our little children who are probably stressed to the maximum through mask wearing and all the things that they're going through, and reach out to your neighbors and make sure that everyone is doing well. Thank you and have a good week.